Hello everyone and welcome back to Art History Shorts. So I'll be finishing up our brief look at the Impressionist art movement with the artist Camille Pissarro and his painting Late Afternoon in Our Meadow. Pissarro was influential in the Impressionist art movement, and he was actually the only artist to exhibit in all 8 Impressionist exhibitions that took place between 1874 and 1886. While you might recognize Pissarro's scenes of urban city streets, I wanted to talk about one of his landscapes for this video. Pissarro painted Late Afternoon in Our Meadow in 1887 after moving to the Normandy village of Irigny, France in 1884, where he lived for the last 2 decades of his life. Similar to Monet, who liked to paint the same subject during different points of the day and year, this is one of a number of paintings of the meadow. In 1885, Pissarro met Georges Seurat, a post-impressionist painter who pioneered the techniques of pointillism. This technique played with the optics of color. Instead of mixing colors on a palette, he placed dots of color next to each other to create his compositions. He called it divisionism. When looking at Pissarro's brushstrokes in this painting, we can see the influence of Seurat's style, how Pissarro applied small dots of color alongside each other to create the scene. Among the trees in the meadow, we see a solitary, semi-abstract figure made up of dashes and splotches of paint. There are blues, greens, and oranges mixed into the figure. We also see pink and blue dashes in the green grasses. Pissarro rotates the lines and dashes of pigment. The grass is made up of horizontals, and the trees are seen here as vertical lines. This variance creates a depth and dimensionality. Look here at the way he manipulates the brushstrokes to create the illusion of clouds. To me, it is really fascinating to piece together how these artists were influenced and inspired by each other, how they adapted their painting styles and techniques. He was influenced not only by Seurat. Later in his life, Pissarro found inspiration from Van Gogh, Gauguin, and also Cézanne, all post-impressionist painters, and he adopted some of their techniques into his own work. It's important to note that art movements tend to blend together. They aren't perfectly in succession of each other. I hope you enjoyed this brief look on Pissarro's Late Afternoon in Our Meadow, and this finishes our time on the Impressionist art movement. So if you liked this video and would like to see more to come, please consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.